when I visited Ireland, one of the bed and breakfasts that we visited was actually had an Irish teacher, like a school teacher, and she said that one of the things that was bothering her was that her students were getting saturated. That's what she called it, saturated with the Game Boys and the video games and all that. And I don't think all video games are bad, and I play some myself. It's a question of you have to be very careful about what role they play in your life. Because, like, I know friends of mine who that is their life. That's it. That's all they are. They play a video game, and that's it. You know, they have no social skills outside of that. You know, like they exist as a persona in a video game, and that is the extent of their, you know, their relationship. A lot of these online games, World of Warcraft, you know, the games like this do this. These people don't really exist outside of video games. That's when it can become a detriment. And when you try to take these computers away from these people, they freak out. I mean, I actually had, for example, one of my roommates was like this, okay, and he stopped paying rent for a while. So in order to get his attention, I unplugged his internet because it was the only way to wake him up. And let me tell you, man, that guy came out of his room and he was really mad at me. Okay, he flipped out. He actually ended up moving out because I told him I wasn't going to turn his internet back on until he gave me my rent. Yeah, exactly.
Get your rent.
No, he just moved out and said, screw you, and left. But at least I didn't have this guy leeching off of me anymore. But the point I was trying to get at was that he basically lived his entire life in the game Age of Conan. That was his entire life. He didn't go out. He didn't have any friends that he talked to outside of Age of Conan, and that's all he did. And I eventually came to understand that essentially anything that you do that creates any kind of stimulation, good or bad, that's what's important, will eventually become something that your brain becomes chemically addicted to, and it will try to repeat these things. This is why you have, like, a battered wife sleeve. This sort of thing happens in a lot of things. Education is something that is relevant to this because the environment in which you learn in essentially will forever have an imprint on you. Like, you'll have a lot of people that say, man, I don't like listening to that guy. He sounds like a school teacher, you know, or don't lecture me. You've ever heard that before? You know, hey, I don't want to hear a lecture. You know, there was a really funny series of commercials that people brought out about where they had this guy who was very good at droning on and sounding like a really boring teacher. You know, note I said boring teacher. There's a whole archetype to that essentially makes learning and intellectualism something that is unfashionable. You know, and that stuff is all essentially taught to you along the way. You know, and a lot of people don't recognize that. And when it comes to education, particularly at the young age when kids want to learn things, that's the time when you need to do that. Like right now with my children, I don't let my children watch SpongeBob. I don't let them watch anything that's not educational. And as a result, lo and behold, when they want to watch TV, they ask me to watch Big Bird because they want to watch Sesame Street. You know, they want, you know, when they sing songs to me, they don't sing annoying SpongeBob songs. They sing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You know, and I'm not saying that there aren't some educational programs that are better than others, but you get my point. That's the age when kids want to be stimulated, and that's the age that you need to take advantage of as a parent. You know, and that's what it was for me when I was a kid. That's what I watched. I watched Sesame Street, The Electric Company, and then my vocabulary got so good. Before I even got into the first grade, I was watching Nova, and I was really interested in the stars and the planets and, you know, all sorts of things. I was also immensely interested in robots when I was a kid. And now, my education was so terrible for me, I didn't get anywhere in any of those things that I wanted to do. I hated school so much, I just wanted to get out. I mean, it didn't help, mind you, that the school I went to was in a very bad neighborhood. I mean, we had metal detectors on our doors. We had gang fights in the parking lot that involved automatic weapons. I mean, I did not go to school in a nice place, to put it bluntly. Carrying school books home would be detrimental to my health if I happen to need to run, especially in a school where I told you, you know, I used a big word, so therefore that makes me subject to violence. You know, but that's basically what I was getting at. And I want to thank all of you guys